Hello and welcome to the classic Brugge-De Panne. Yes, this is a race that's gone through many iterations. You may recognize the name. Yes, that's because this was known as the Driedaagse de Panne before it all got changed fairly recently. Since 2018, this had all been changed. From then on, this has become a one-day race. In the past, we've seen Elia Viviani win this race. We've seen Dylan Groenewegen. We saw Yves Lampaert win it in 2020 at the late part of the season. And also Sam Bennett's last year in 2021. Yes, we are live here on the Cycling Day and Extra, the commentary of what is going on in this year's edition of Classic Brugge-De Panne. Also, what's happening in the cycling world right now is the Vuelta a Catalunya, one of the oldest races in bike racing, nonetheless. That is going on in the north of Spain. But we're focusing here on De Panne, the Sprinters Classic. We have a good start list here. We have Sam Bennett, we have Tim Merlier. We also have the likes of Arnaud Delis, who could surprise. Beniam Girmay as well, Arnaud Demar. Simone Consonni, plenty of riders here battling out for their first one-day race win of the year. Mark Cavendish hasn't won a one-day race, a UCI World Tour one-day race in a long time. But he has already taken Milan-Turin this year. Look out for him. He's number 11 for Quickstep Alpha Vinyl. Bora-Hansgrohe being led in by last year's champion Sam Bennett. Sam Bennett, the former Irish champion. He has Niels Pollitt, Jonas Koch, Lucas Perselberger, Jody Meus, Ryan Mullen, and Danny van Poppel to help him today. Nevertheless, we have the ticker on the screen says 45.7 kilometers to go. The peloton being led by Niels Pollitt, former podium finisher at Paris-Roubaix. We have a breakaway still out, 45 seconds of a lead. That is, in the breakaway we have Dimitri Peskens. We also have Enrico Battaglin, as well as the rider from Belgium, Jens Reinders. Reinders, who won the intermediate sprint earlier on. Battaglin, probably the most well-known, with, 4 Giro d'Italia stage wins. One in 2013, one in 2013, 3 Giro stage wins. One in 13, one in 14, and one in 18. Battaglin, I must say, I will let down my neutrality here. Battaglin, one of my favorite riders in the cycling scene, so I'm glad to see him up in the breakaway finally, showing himself for his new team Bardiani, who moved to last year. Also up here, Dimitri Peskens, 30 years of age. He's never taken a professional victory, but he's been a Ronde van Flandres, 4 Liège-Bastogne-Lièges. He's been riding for this team, the Bengal team, the Wallonian national team, regional team for a while. Third at the Radamring. Back in 2017, he's finished 35th at La Flèche Wallonne, 12th at the Arctic Race in Norway, and 13th at the Flèche Brabançon, also known as the Brabantse Pijl. Nevertheless, 44.8 kilometers to go. Don't forget to tune in. Whether you're watching De Panne or you're watching Catalunya, maybe we'll do a focus shift later on and switch up the mood of this live stream. However, we have one lap left of this route round De Panne. De Panne, very close to the French border here. We're not very far away at all from France, but they are just nog één ronde, one more lap to go. In this classic, it's a 44-kilometer long loop in windy conditions. We're not far from Newport as well. You may have been past that town on the seaside, but we're just seeing now Alpecin Fenix coming towards the front. Alpecin Fenix being led by Tim Merlier today. Merlier, who has a very good sprinting track record. Giro d'Italia, Tour de France success last year. He's won 2 stages of the Tirreno Adriatico. Also been up there at the Benelux Tour, formerly known as the Binkbank Tour. And today looking to win his first one-day race at the World Tour level. Certainly possible for him and for Belgium. He's looking for stage wins later this year. It's been interesting to see what's been happening with Alpecin Fenix in terms of their Grand Tour lineup. Mathieu van der Poel has been saying, well, it was rumoured a couple weeks ago, but now it's been confirmed that he might be going to the Giro d'Italia and the Tour de France, with the aim of finishing both, Well, I know Attila Valter will not be happy with that one. He was aiming for pink at Visegrad. That might be out the window right now as Mathieu van der Poel looks to target the race this year. We're just looking to the back of the peloton, looking at Jumbo-Visma. Jumbo-Visma being led today, if they have a leader, Jumbo are being led by Olaf Kooi. Olaf Kooi, relatively young, I'd say 20 years old. Also, they have the Dutch champion Timo Roze, as well as Tim van Dijk, Jos van Emden, Tosh van der Sande, and Pascal Eenhoorn, all riding for their squad. Other people to look out for. Well, Israel Premier Tech have brought Rudy Barbier here to sprint for victory. Team Bike Exchange have Dylan Groenewegen. Also alongside them, they have Luca Mesget and what looks to be a very strong lead-out. Team DSM are trying to look for their first victory of the year with Kees Bol. They also have Alberto Dainese on the start list. In the lead-out, they will be looking towards Joris Nieuwenhuis to help him. Also, Trek Segafredo, they have Jasper Stuyven to help out to go out for victory, with a lead-out including Jon Aberysturi, the new signing, and Ed Turns. UAE are bringing Pascal Ackerman, who recently won a stage of... what stage was that? But he won a race very recently in a sprint. Also up here will be Arkea Samsic with Nasser Bouhanni. They also bring Amaury Capio, who won in Marseille early this year in the south coast of France. Also on the start list, Sacha Modolo riding for Bardiani this year. They also have Filippo Fiorelli to help with that one. Timothy Dupont, who won very early on last year at the Étoile de Bessèges. He's here for Bingo Pal Sources. Yes, the Source team. They also have Stanislav Anielkowski to go for a sprint today. If you're a fan of Uno X, well, you'll be cheering on for Christopher Halverson, former Team Sky and EF rider, who will be leading that team today. Nevertheless, this race, well, we're pretty much itching for a sprint, aren't we? 45 seconds for this breakaway group at the moment. Looking for success, well, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to solo out all the way to the end. So, and we'll have to wait and see what they can bring in the finale of this stage. If you're looking for Catalunya, well, Catalunya is a little bit of a different story. Catalunya being dominated by Bike Exchange. Bike Exchange today going for Dylan Groenewegen, but they have back-to-back stage wins already in that race with Caden Groves and with Michael Matthews. Alarming news coming out of Catalunya, though, for fans of Sonny Colbrelli, who had a cardiac arrest, some heart problems there. He has had to rule out his classic season for health reasons, obviously so. So that does make sense. But in other news, we're looking towards what could be a good GC showdown in that race. A GC rider had some problems yesterday. Matthias Schelmose of Denmark. He had a crash yesterday. Fell off a cliff, nonetheless. And, he was pretty much handed his bike back. He was shouting that he was okay to the medical team, who did want to assess him furthermore, but he was all right. Okay, well, we are looking towards the Brugge-De Panne race here. Of course, the list of previous winners includes many Belgians. And, I mean, in recent years, the last Belgian to win it was Yves Lampaert, riding for De Koning. At the time, he is not on today's start list. Neither is his teammate Miguel Honoré, who did not start today, was supposed to start, but did not start in the end. We know he had some problems at Milano-Sanremo. Also, former winners of this race include Sylvain Chavanel when it was back when it was Driedaagse. He won it in 2012, 2013 when he was French champion. Other former winners includes Guillaume von Kielsburg of Omega Pharma, Alexander Christophe before he won the Ronde van Vlaanderen. Louis Westra as well has won this race, as well as Philippe Gilbert back in 2017 before he too won the Ronde van Vlaanderen, the Tour of Flanders. More bizarre winners in the past, looking towards Rijvis Belhoviskis. the rider from Latvia who won this in 2003. He was riding for a team that doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. We've also seen Russian winners, seen Dutch winners, Italian winners, Irish winners. Sean Kelly has won this one. Jan Bogaert as well, pretty famous winners. Jean-Luc van den Broeke as well. So a pretty illustrious list of former champions of this race, including Peter van Petegem, who he did the Flanders Tour double one year. But at the moment in this race, we could see a Belgian winner today. Tim Merlier looking for that one. Dutch hopes are on the shoulders of Dylan Groenewegen, whilst British hopes are on the shoulders of Mark Cavendish. Also, Arnaud Delis looking to get some World Tour points for Lotto Soudal. He has a strong team with him, including Oscar de Burst, Florian Vermeers, Brent van Moer, who might be going for a last-minute attack, Rudiger Selig, as well as Sebastian Grinard and Michael Schwarzmann. Michael Schwarzmann, who moved to the team last year from Bora Hansgrohe. Bora, who themselves are going for Sam Bennett in the sprint. Nevertheless, we look down and we're looking at Tim Merlier right now. Tim Merlier next to the rider number 132 for Team DSM. That is Alberto Dainese. Will they be going for Dainese or will it be a day for Cees Bol? I remind you, DSM have not won a race in 2021. Bit of a shame for them. 2022 not going the best for Team DSM. However, Jonas Widerberg is leading the Tour of Catalonia, but we just see Lasse Norman Hansen, double Olympic champion off the back. Lasse Norman Hansen, who saw success earlier in 2021 at the Tokyo Olympic Games, working with Mikael Mørkøv for that lead-out train there on the track, getting his second gold medal of his career, of course, winning the Omnium back at London 2012. Mikael Mørkøv, his partner, is racing. He is wearing number 14 for Quickstep Alpha Vinyl. Nonetheless, as we see some rather scary-looking dolls on the side of the street. Yes, De Panne. I passed through De Panne. I can't really sing its praises, but we're really not far away from France itself. I mean, we're literally a stone's throw away. I'm sure if you literally throw a stone, you can make it there. We're in West Flanders, which Dutch speakers will know, or at least Flemish speakers will know, to be a place with a very unique accent in Flemish. I'll say it's one of the most difficult Dutch or Belgian accents to understand. They have a very funny way of saying sandwich, which is very, very niche. I'm not going to justify that anymore. Also here you can see the Belgian military cemetery as well, which is a Kerkstraat 69 in De Panne, 1 kilometer south of the church. Besides Belgian soldiers who died in the First World War, there are also British soldiers who died in the Second World War. 3,744 soldiers are buried there. And also you can see the Aardenkerke military cemetery as well, just outside of De Panne. Of course, this is where many battles were fought during the Second and First World Wars. Particularly in the First World War. I'm sure many people have been on maybe field trips to this part of the world for history and so forth. I know I did when I was 14 years old. But nevertheless, Belgium today, it's a very different place. De Panne, kind of rebuilt. Not necessarily the most beautiful town you're going to see in this part of the world. Not the nicest seaside place. I'm looking more towards Knokke-Heist. If you're looking for a good seaside destination in Belgium, that's your place to go. Anyways, that's enough of the tourism tips for today's stream. Looking at the chat there, tuning in from Philadelphia. Well, Philadelphia, city of independence, isn't it? But 49 seconds separates the peloton group from the breakaway. The breakaway, which includes most notably Enrico Battaglino of Italy, who has taken multiple Giro d'Italia stage wins in the past, a grand total of 3. Also, he's won the Gran Premio Città di Peccioli back in 2011. He's been up there in many World Tour stages. I have a real soft spot for Enrico Battaglino. One of my favourite ever Giro d'Italia stage wins was his win at Oropa back in 2014. hoping he will make it onto the start list of the Giro once again this year. So, Battaglia, 32 years old now. He is getting on. Back when he won that stage in 2013, he was just a fresh 23-year-old. Now more of an experienced guy at Bardiani, a team that also sees Giovanni Visconti, who will be retiring later this year. Don't know about you, but my live coverage is not brilliant, and I apologize as I am the feeder in between the two. We currently have roughly 30 kilometers to go, and it is the teams you'd expect. Alpecin Fenix towards the front. We're also seeing Alpecin Fenix to Koenig, Quickstep Alpha Vinyl, and the Bora Hansgrohe towards the front. And guys, who are you thinking is going to win the stage? I'm seeing Biniam Girmay. I'm really hoping for Girmay to win today's stage. Wouldn't that be so fun if he could do so? Nevertheless, I'm going to open up a poll for you guys to see who is going to win today's stage. If I can open the poll. I'm not usually the poll guy. That's usually the responsibility of Scott. But today we are switching roles here. Nevertheless, seeing it right out of the back, number 212 for it. It's Milan Fretin of Sport Vlaanderen. He has a rear puncture, just jockeying from side to side. Not good news for them. I'm not sure what Sport Vlaanderen are looking for today. Maybe is it supposed to be a stage for one of their sprinters? I can't really think they're not really the kind of team to win at the UCI World Tour level. They would have loved it back when it was the Driedaagse and not World Tour a couple of years ago. But now this is one of the few World Tour classics that is tailor-made for the sprinters, really. So we are looking towards the final couple kilometers of this race. Who do you guys think is going to win? I have decided to opt for these 4 options. We have Cavendish, Tim Merlier, Dylan Groenewegen, or another rider. Sorry for the Bora Hansgrohe fans, as they currently have their man towards the front, Niels Pollitt, the man with the big teeth. Brilliant teeth. I really wish he could share the number of his dentist, because they look very great. Number 63 out the back. That is Yellow Wale's double winner of the Paris Tour. He is currently straggling off the back as Enrico Battaglin comes back in. He's the first of the breakaway guys to rejoin the peloton. Sam Bennett just popping in frame. We can also see the Irish champion, Ryan Mullen. Nice guy, actually. Former double Irish champion. He was time trial and road race champion back in 2017. This year, the road race champion is he. Also looking down, we can see Mark Cavendish towards the front, the British rider looking to try to get the first British win at the De Panne since David Miller in 2010. Well, with Mark Cavendish, we have Ilio Keiser, we have Mika Merkel, Stein Stales, also Yannick Stiemler, who's riding his first World Tour race of the year, and Bert van Leerberger of Quickstep Alpha Vinyl. I really like van Leerberger. He's a real underrated lead-out man. Really influential with the Jacobsen victories at last year's Vuelta a España, and he's here to help Cavendish today. But it's, really, really strong guy. Yesterday, we saw Mauro Schmidt win over in the Coppa Bartali. Fabulous win for him there. He's the 101st rider to win a stage for the Wolfpack. And I'm really happy for Schmidt, proving that he wasn't just a one-hit wonder with his stage at Montalcino last year. That was his first professional win. Now he has another one to his name. Also, good news for Ethan Vernon, the British rider, track rider as well. Many track riders we seem to talk about today. He got a top 10 at yesterday's race in the Catalunya. So really good stuff from him. Catalunya today heading from Perpignan in the south of France. Yes, there is a Catalan community in France as they head towards, as they head into the hills for the first time in this race. Don't forget to drop your Catalunya predictions. Maybe we will switch our focus there once this race is done. We'll give you the Hannah Montana best of both worlds. As we just get 32 kilometers to go right now. This is Dimitri Peskens and also the rider from Top Sport Vlaanderen. Sorry, just Sport Vlaanderen nowadays. That is Jens Reinders up here in the front group. Don't know much about Reinders. He is 23 years old from Tornegere. I couldn't tell you where that is in a map, but I'm finding out now. It's in Limburg. Well, there we go. Another part of the country that has a very distinct accent. Also from that town is Amir Capio, who is riding today's stage. But Jens Reinders, just 23 years old. Yeah, in fact, that's Tonegere is where the Ronde van Limburg finishes. Last person to win in that town was Tim Merlier, who is starting today's stage as one of the favorites. Tim Merlier riding for Alpes and Phoenix. He's going to be my pick, Tim Merlier, for today's stage win. 55% of you are backing Mark Cavendish. 18% say Tim Merlier. 9% saying Dylan Groenewegen. 18% of you saying other rider. Other rider? Well, there could be Girmay, could be Bennett. Who else could it be? Arnaud de Lee. Really hoping for Arnaud de Lee to do something today. You can tell I've mentioned his name an awful lot. That's Lotto Soudal team. I don't usually sing Lotto's praises, but Lotto Soudal's team today is absolutely fantastic. Arnaud de Lee with Jasper de Bust, as well as Florian Vermeers. Brent van Muur, as well as Rodiger Zeilig, Sebastian Grinard, Michael Schwarzman. That is their team. And the DS is actually Nicolas Mais, who you may remember from the Pro Peloton a number of years ago. Well, Arnaud de Lee, if you're wondering why I'm mentioning him, well, he's this youth sensation. He has had a fantastic start to the season. He has he's won the Trofeo Playa de Palma, sprinting against some of the best sprinters in the world there. Also, the Grote Prijs, Jean-Pierre Montserrat, he was won by Arnaud de Lee, who's just 20 years old, by the way. He just turned 20. He beat Dries de Bond, Hugo Hofstetter there. Also, in his Palmares, a top 3 at the Koksijde Classic. Sorry, not at the Koksijde Classic. I tell a lie. At Nogueira Koersen, which was won by Tim Merlier. So, Arnaud de Lee, they're beating some sprinters like Hugo Hofstetter, Rasmus Tiller, Bron Velte. So, a really good ride, I'd say, from Arnaud de Lee. And he may be just 20 years old, born in March 2002. He had his birthday early this week. But he is the future of Wallonian cycling, I would say. I'm going to tell you now, he's destined for big things. He's signed until next year. He's the protege of Philippe Gilbert. Philippe Gilbert been sort of mentoring him. You don't get many big riders from the south, from the French-speaking part of the country. Although they do have a monument at Liège-Bastogne-Liège, they don't have many fantastic riders. Gilbert being the big standout, Maxime Montfort as well. Kino de Brooks as well, just 18 years old. He's from the border, so maybe he kind of counts as he trains a lot in Wallonia. But Arnaud de Lee is my wild card for a good result today. Also, cycling's bad boy Gianni Moscon. He's on the start list. Astana, Kazakhstan could foil the party here. Fred Wright as well for Bahrain. He's been bigging up his chances during the week, saying this is one of his favorite races. Just reading the chat now. David Quintana. Well, hola Colombia. ¿Qué tal Colombia? Well, they have Sergio Higuita to cheer on for at the Volta Catalunya. Volta Catalunya, of course, one of the oldest races in the professional peloton. In the professional calendar. Jonas Widerberg, he is leading those for Norway and for Team DSM, who still do not have a podium finish this year on a world tour stage, or even, I believe, in any stage. It's a shame. Even their development team have taken a win. Casper van Uden has taken a win for the development team, but their world tour team has not taken a win. That's rather embarrassing for them. But they have Case Ball today. They're looking for a podium at least. They haven't really scored many UCI points. They scored 8 yesterday, courtesy of Widerberg's lead. Big crash here. Crash it at the back of the peloton, and a lot of riders from Israel Premier Tech. There's also a rider there, one of the riders from... There's a rider there from Total, sorry, not from Total, from Sport Vlaanderen. Israel Premier Tech, number 93 for Israel. That is Matthias Brendler, the rider from Sport Vlaanderen. Can't quite work out who it is, but Brendler down. Brilliant time trialist, Matthias Brendler, but just seeing the crash now. Oh, yep, top spot. Oh, the Vlaanderen guy goes right into the ditch. That is Tour Dens. Tour not in a good place right now. Just towards the back, number 193. That is Enrico Battaglin from the early breakaway. So, yep, problem for Sport Vlaanderen. They haven't had a great day. They've just had two major problems, but yep, not a great situation for them and Tour Dens. I can't tell you too much about Tour Dens. He's their number 1 today on the start list, but they have opted for an alphabetical start list. The man is 21 years old. His place of birth is not in Pro Cycling Stats. He's been this is his first year riding with the team. At the age of 21, that's pretty understandable. But yeah, that's him. He will also be riding at the Roue Tourangelle later this week over in the... I believe that's in the Loire Valley, that race. Yep, it is. So look out for him there, but we're probably going to see other riders contend that one. Biniam Girmay will be on that race as well. Biniam Girmay starting this one as one of the favorites for sure. As we just see what appears to be Matthias Brendler trying to come through in the convoy as well with Johan Jacobs of Switzerland. Johan Jacobs, the rider from Switzerland, had a really strong ride on, I believe, stage 3 of Paris-Nice, the one won by Mads Pedersen. He really, really pushed on the pace there, but didn't quite get it in the end. They'll be working for the German sprinter who moved teams. He was at DSM last year, now riding for Movistar. Maybe he'll get some better chances at them this year. Well, don't forget to let me know where you're tuning in from. We'll see. We've had Colombia. We've had the United States as well tuning in to this Brugge-De Panne Classic. Biniam Girmay, of course, accumulating many fans today. He's a great guy. Seems really sweet. This is his first race back in Belgium since winning a silver medal at the World Championships in 2021 over in Leuven, the university city, and today he's back with a vengeance. Kop van de Wedstrijd, and we have Alpecin Phoenix up here. Also Bike Exchange showing their faces. They're working for Dylan Groenewegen. EF Education First as well are up here. I'm not quite sure who they're working for. They have Windol, maybe. That's their team sheet not looking quite so strong. Maybe Marin Vondenberg for something today. They've also got the exciting Irishman Ben Healy on their start list. I'm excited to see what Ben Healy can do this year. He's just 21 years old. He's won a stage of the Tour de l'Avenir, won a stage of the Baby Giro. He will be starting at the Idri this Friday, and also at the Circuit Cycliste, the race that happens all around the racetrack where the 24 Hours of Le Mans happens. Exciting stuff for him. He was at Strade Bianche, didn't finish that one, but I'm hoping he gets a start this year at the Giro d'Italia. I think that could be really cool for the young Irishman, born on the 11th of September 2000 from King Swinford down in Ireland. Getting more places coming in, like from Georgia in the United States, also the northeastern United States. Well, ticking off the US today. Also, I appreciate any United States recommendations. I'm spending a month there this summer. So if you have any recommendations, I'm staying in Austin, Texas and Chicago. I need to fill out my time in between. Maybe looking to go to Wisconsin for a day. But let me know if you have any recommendations on visiting the US. You can contact me over on Instagram and Twitter at EwanWilson48. That is my handle over there. But 25 kilometers to go. The thing with this, it's a sprint classic. It's like a sprint stage. Not much happening right now. Sprinters teams just forming things out, just getting ready for what could be a sprint finale. on this stage. Well, we're assuming it's a sprint finale. Given that this is a World Tour race, people need the World Tour points this year, given the promotion and relegation system. So, a lot of teams hungry for points. One of them being, well, one of them really being Showdown, who need the points to stay up. And afloat, they're struggling really. It's our Premier Tech as well, right on the verge of relegation next year. I mean, they won't be missed to me, but I'm sure they will want something. They've taken a couple of Grand Tour stage wins, but they really should be aiming for higher things. They haven't taken a Tour de France win since they were promoted in 2020. Haven't really taken a UCI one-day race win. World Tour one-day race win. Waiting for that to happen as well. So it's bleak times for Israel Premier Tech. They could be relegated, but RKS Samsic safe in the World Tour next year if we are to believe this promotion and relegation system. As we've just seen Niels Pollitt go out the back. Niels Pollitt there for Borhansgruppe. He won a stage at last year's Tour de France in Nîmes, the Roman city there, with a beautiful Roman amphitheater. Towards the front, here come Lotto Sudal. They're working for Arnaud Delis, just 20 years old. Towards the back, we just see the Sources team, Bingo. They have number 207. Straggling off the back, that's Tom Wittgen, who people may recognize from the former World Tour ranks. Also, well, I mean, they're working for Stanislav Anielkowski and Timothy Dupont today. Anielkowski, former Polish champion, is... Oh, crash. Oh, no, sorry, a problem there for number 114. That is Max Kanter. It's a Max Kanter. Oh, wait, is that... Am I seeing what I'm seeing? Is that... Yes. Oh. Okay, there is a motorbike rider on the floor. I was going to say, I thought someone was on the floor. It's a motorbike rider. Johan Jacobs is now pushing Max Kanter. But what happened there? Oi, oi, oi. A motorbike rider on the deck, rolling on the floor in obvious pain, as we just saw Max Kanter and Johan Jacobs out the back. That's awfully confusing. If anybody has any more information, that would be fascinating to feed that back. Johan Jacobs and Max Kanter down on out the back, whilst the TV camera crew, maybe, or so forth, on the ground. That is so strange. I'll just search Twitter to see what happened there, but yeah, we're not going to get any replays of what just happened, but someone on the ground, not looking so great. Nevertheless, this is Brugge-De Panne. We have just 22.6 kilometers to go. Thank you for tuning in today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're tuning in for the first time. This is the extra channel, and we also have the main channel over at the Cycling Day. We're just seeing what's happening here. Oi. Okay. That's Max Kanter just striking one of the flagsmen in the middle of the road. So in the central reservation, as they go onto a roundabout, you know that there's that little bit of concrete with the sign, and you have a man, like a steward, with a flag telling you to go left and right. Max Kanter collided straight into one. That will explain why there was an official on the ground. Awful stuff there. We know what's happened in the past with these guys getting struck. Oh, that is not nice to see. So, an official on the ground after Max Kanter collides. What a shame. What an absolute shame. Well, we head back to the race. We are in the west of Flanders right now. Number 232. This is Martin Bugge-Urienstad getting a bike change for Uno X, the development team. Formed just a couple of years ago, they're aiming for Tour de France wildcard status in a couple of years' time, but they did not get it this year. They applied, but did not receive the wildcard, much to people's dismay. But, I mean, they haven't taken a UCI World Tour win yet. Yes, it's probably waiting, but they might have to prove themselves before they can get that special spot. Anyways, thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. We have 21 kilometers to go at the Brugge-De Panne race this year. Over in the Volta Catalunya, I'm not quite sure what's going on. I'll fill you in on what's happening there. We have a group up in front: Simone Petilli, Casper Pedersen, Mikel Bizkarra, Ander Okamika. Over in the breakaway, they have 20 kilometers to go as Jumbo-Visma are pulling in the peloton, apparently. Well, Jumbo-Visma trying to get the overall win. Today's stage finishing up in La Molina. Not the hardest climb we've ever seen. 12k at 4.4% average. Could be a day for an explosion. Could be a day for, well, maybe a Alejandro Valverde kind of win. 20.4 kilometers to go. You can just see number 13 out of the back in De Panne. Number 13 is Ilio Keiser, the man from Ghent. Known for its 6-day classic, which he has ridden. His dad, well, his father owns one of the most famous cycling bars in Ghent. So if you're ever in the city, make sure to go to that. Nevertheless, we're getting closer and closer to this finale. 20.2 kilometers to go on this stage in Belgium's secret one-day classic, some could call it. We all know about Dwars door Vlaanderen, the Ronde van Vlaanderen, Iedere Hallebeker, Ghent-Wevelgem, but not many of us know about the Brugge-De Panne. This is the palate cleanser for it all that's coming later this week. Sprint Classic. We await to see the fast men go for it in the finale. Maybe a win for Mark Cavendish. Maybe a win for Tim Merlier on home roads. Or will it be Dylan Groenewegen, who's trying to make his comeback to the sport after what was a nasty injury and a suspension from cycling for 9 months back in 2020 to 2021. He's been winning already this year, has Dylan Groenewegen, the man whose name means green roads. Well, it's looking pretty green for Groenewegen this season so far. His transfer to Bike Exchange looks to have paid off, and as the Dutchman is back to winning ways. The man from Amsterdam, you can tell because he's got the 3 X's of Amsterdam tattooed on him. There's a great quiz you can do online of guessing the rider based on their tattoos. Lee, who's just 20 years old, who's looking to get his first UCI World Tour win. He's already had a good start of the race, as we see Martin Urianstad has pulled out of the race. I'm just letting you know that one. A shame for him, but we'll wait and see what X can do in the finale with their man, the Norwegian Christopher Halvorsen. The Norwegian, looking to get Uno X's first ever World Tour victory. I'm not quite sure if it's going to come today. A team we haven't spoken about an awful lot today is Française des Jeux, Arnaud Demar, who was looking good at the weekend at Milano-Sanremo. Maybe he could do something today. He will be battling against his former teammate, Nasser Bouhanni of Arkea Samsic, who've had a fantastic start to the season. Arkea Samsic have got Amaury Capio, who won early this year. Kevin Le Danois, who actually won the Under-23 World Championships in Virginia in 2015. Also, Benjamin de Klerk and Marcus Pajur of Estonia. Yeah, Christopher Halvorsen is 25 years old. He has won the Hansamer Classic. He's won the Grand Prix d'Isberge up in Calais. Under-23 world champion in 2016. A lot of these Norwegians seem to get early career success and never really seem to keep that momentum into adulthood. But Halvorsen's looking to change that this year. He's been at the World Tour for 3 years. Team Sky for 2 of them, then EF in 2020. In 2020, not quite his year. 2019 was a better year. He came second overall at the Tour of Norway, second at the Hansamer Classic. Also with a 4th place at the UAE Tour, Herald Sun Tour stage win as well. But last year, after moving to Uno X, he took a stage win at the Tour of Slovakia. And this year, I mean, it hasn't been quite the perfect beginning to the season. He was 54th at the Brugge-De Panne Classic, 97th at Nogueira-Kurse. So I'm not going to bet on Halvorsen for today's stage win. They're more a team for the mountains. As you can see, the... oh, God, what are their names? Oh, what are their names? The twins. Johannesson brothers. The Johannesson twins over at the Volta Catalunya. Gosh, that escaped my mind, even though I covered the Tour de l'Avenir. this year. Oof, well, last year. And it was Tobias Johannesson who won that race. Yeah, two twins with a lot of success, a lot of talent in their legs. $16.4 kilometers to go. Here come Trek Segafredo. They're working for what we believe to be Jasper Stuyve for today. They also have John Aberysturi, but also towards the front come Groupama with 16k to go. Lottie Soudal as well, moving towards the front. They believe in their 20-year-old. But Groupama as well, I mean, they're obviously going to believe in Arnaud Démare. He's won big races like this in the past. He knows how to win UCI World Tour one-day race wins. He's done it at, Milano Sanremo. He knows how to win these kind of races. But Trek Segafredo doing very, very well right now. Also, Barnabas Beyak with a flat tire out the back. He was... He's a key rider for Benyam Girmay. We haven't really seen Intermarché towards the front, which is surprising because Intermarché have been very visible in 2022 so far. But Lottie Soudal now just really showing their faces. Bahrain victorious as well. They're just deep into the peloton. UAE coming towards the front. Well, who did they have for a sprint today? UAE, I'm trying to look to them more. Pascal Ackermann, maybe for them. Rui Oliveira too, but they have Max Requeze to help them in the lead-out. Also, we can just see Astana coming towards the front. That's Fabio Felline, former green jersey winner at the Vuelta a España. Well, maybe he could do something today. He finished at the podium finish on the stage of the Gira back in 2020. So never say never for him. That was behind Arnaud Démare, who's up here. But Lottie Soudal looking in control right now, riding in the red and the white. Groupama working for Aberysturi. Aberysturi never really raced on this level. He's been at Vuelta at the Spanish stages, but not quite at this kind of World Tour race. We haven't seen much of Sam Bennett recently. There seems to be Bora's new staple of disappearing in the final couple kilometers. But they seem to be doing it again today. Olaf Koy as well for Jumbo-Visma. Haven't spoken about him. He's itching for a World Tour win. He's been so close to getting it. And maybe it could happen today. I'm not quite convinced. He's so very young as well. Just 19, 20 years old. But Panne, we're not far away from his native land, the Netherlands. Dylan Groenewegen coming in as the big Dutchman. The man from Amsterdam. Look out for him in the sky blue of Bike Exchange. Bike Exchange, well, they've had a brilliant week so far, winning with Michael Matthews and Caden Groves over in Catalonia. Catalonia, by the way, is currently unfolding. Maybe we will switch to that in the end, bring you a different perspective when that happens. But Olaf Koy, well, he's bouncing around. He's got Timo Rosen as well around him. Timo Rosen, the Dutch champion. Yes, it's not Mathieu van der Poel. He pulled out of that race. Bizarre scenario there. Van der Poel attacked, then just suddenly abandoned the race with about 100 kilometers to go. He attacked and then decided, well, it's not for me today, and pulled out of the race. In Van der Poel's words, well, I'm getting old, as he said last weekend, and maybe old age is getting to him. 14.5 kilometers to go here in Brugge-De Panne. Brugge-De Panne, it's an interesting race. Very, very fascinating race. Formerly the Driedaagse, a 3-day race, which included a time trial and 3 relatively flat stages, some cobble features as well. But nowadays, just a classic. The women's race will be tomorrow, but I mean, you can tune into that if you want. But today, it's all about the men. And a rider there from Bingle, not happy with what's happening there. Bingle, the Wallonian team, you can in the bright yellow. They're working for Stanislav Anielkowski as well as Timothy Dupont. Here come Uno X working for Christopher Halverson. Also, Cofidis coming towards the front. They're working for Simone Consonni, the Italian, who, correct me if I'm wrong, was part of that gold medal winning team. We're currently going 51 kilometers an hour. Isn't that fantastic? We're going so fast here with 13 kilometers to go. Still, Lottie Soudal towards the front with plenty of men to help. Arnaud Delis as well. On the right-hand side of your screen, well, here they are, Intermarché. Intermarché, the supermarket sponsored team. Now towards the front, Trek Segafredo with a tall figure trying to help them for the lead out. That tall figure, Trek Segafredo, looks like, I mean, I can't tell who it is. Maybe Otto Furcade or Jakob Eholm towards the front there, but we just now see, here they come. This is Antamashi. Is that Guinean Burmai? Is that Biniam Gurmai on second wheel? If it is, that's very surprising that they brought him this early towards the front. Also now Bahrain Victorious trying to fight for this one. I mean, you can never put anything past Bahrain Victorious at this rate. The peloton now just becoming a bit of a washing machine with riders coming towards the front and riders now just peeling back. A lot of chaos if you're in the middle of the pack right now. Oh, especially there as we see the riders come onto a grass verge that was almost unmanned. What's happening here now? Absolute chaos in Brugge-De Panne now. Woo! Groupama trying to come towards the front. Absolute chaos through the center as riders just go left, right, and center, cutting onto the central reservation, and some riders just ignoring what's happening in the race right now. Remarkable images. We saw a race official getting struck earlier on today. And I think some riders are going to have some strong words about the road furniture today in Brugge-De Panne. It's a race that's up there in the Flanders Classic calendar, but I mean, it's not looking quite so great at the moment. Here we go. Riders all across the road. Number 143 out the back. That is Dan Hoel. It was actually Dan Hoel towards the front. Dan Hoel, I mean, I don't know much about him, but now here we go. Bora coming towards the front and number 5 out the back. Oh, number 5. That would be Jordi Meus, who will not contend today's sprint, the Belgian. They're going all in for Sam Bennett and Danny Van Poppel. Van Poppel, who is a fantastic leader man, it seems, for Bora Hansgrohe. Hopefully he can do something today. I don't know about you guys, but this live coverage is being very, very temperamental. But out the back goes the Bora Hansgrohe rider, Jordi Meus, who gets a new bike. I mean, I just think it's far too late for him to get back into the peloton now. Just gets overtaken by Dan Hoel there, as we just see the Bingo coming towards the front. The team with the B exclamation point on their sleeves. Sponsored by Sauces. And this could be a saucy ride from them today. Can they bring the goods? Oh, there we go. Just Nasser Bouhanni's team, Arkea Samsic, just shouldering out. What looks to be quick sub off a final, working for Mark Cavendish. Cavendish really with a depleted lead-out train right now. Maybe just with Bert van Leeberg or Michael Merkel with him right now. But Arkea Samsic with plenty of riders coming towards the front right now. Also Team DSM working with Dainese and the tall figure of Kees Bol. Kees Bol, who won a stage at Paris-Nice last year. As we just see now, Bingo really giving it towards the front of the peloton now. 56 kilometers an hour, 10 kilometers to go. Everybody wants World Tour points. As all riders now once again completely ignoring the race stewards. It's absolute chaos in Brugge-De Panne. Now going around another corner and it's all fights for positions. Riders on sidewalks, riders in gutters, riders just jumping over central reservations. Some now just cutting the corner. It's a Bora Hansgrohe rider there, just completely ignoring what the race officials are telling him to go. And now we just see what looks to be bike exchange at the front. They're working for Dylan Groenewegen. They have Luca Mesgets for the lead out as well, don't forget. A young Australian team working for them. Well, they've won 2 races in the past 2 days. Can they make it 3 days in a row? If Dylan Groenewegen gets it today, the man from Amsterdam in the Netherlands. One of the fastest sprinters in the world, you must say he actually won this race back in 2019. Can he win it this year? He's one of the few retaining champions on the start list, alongside the rider from Bora Hansgrohe, Sam Bennett, who won it last year. And problem there for number 27 or number 21? I'm hoping it's not Arnaud Delis, but we will just find out now. It is. If it's number 27, that would be. Michael Schwarzman. It doesn't look like Michael Schwarzman. I think this is a problem for Arnaud Delis. My live coverage there just cutting out again. But I believe that is a problem for Arnaud Delis of Lotto Soudal. Such a shame there for the young rider from Belgium. I mean, I was picking him up all day, and of course he comes down. Then there's curse of the commentator there with a mechanical problem for Arnaud Delis. Ugh, what a shame. Oh no, it's Michael Schwarzman. It is Michael Schwarzman. It's number 27. Sorry. I mean, I lost the pictures there for a second. I just saw a rider there. It looked at number 27, but it didn't look like the figure of Michael Schwarzman. But it is. Arnaud Delis is still up there then. So he's lost the lead on that man, but he is still up here. It's Michael Schwarzman, who is out the back of Germany and for the Lotto Soudal squad. So, Michael Schwarzman at the back. Thank you to our stat providers, Pro Cycling Stats, for enlightening me on that. 8.7 kilometers to go at Brugge-De Panne. Brugge-De Panne. It is still bike exchange towards the front of the peloton. They're working for Dylan Groenewegen here. Also here, seeing glimpses of Groupama Française des Jeux, who wants something out of today too. As well as Bora Hansgrohe, who's slowly coming towards the front with Sam Bennett. Sam Bennett, who hasn't been looking like the same Sam Bennett this year, if I'm quite honest. Hasn't really been showing his full strength, but still, yeah, Lotto Soudal still up here. So Arnaud Delis still at the end of the train, so that's good news for Lotto Soudal. Sorry to shock some of you there. I was very confused. I saw the number 27, then my live coverage, it looked like a 27, looked like a 21, but it was a small figure. Michael Schwarzman a little bit taller than Arnaud Delis, so that confused me for a second, but 7.6 kilometers to go, and the riders now all safe at the front. Cavendish as well coming towards the front of the peloton. Also see Bingo towards the front. Looks like Quickstep have more riders to support Cavendish as well nowadays. So that's good news for them. But Lotto with, I mean, I can see 4 or 5 Lotto riders in the frame right now. Good news for them. Good news for them, keeping safe. They need the World Tour points. I was listening to an interview with their one of their sports directors, and they were saying that they weren't racing for the points. They're racing to race. They want to win. They want to get podium finishes. They don't care about filling up the top 10, which is quite different to the tactic of Arkea Samsic, who have been filling up the top 10, but they currently sit in 14th in this rolling UCI World Tour points conveyor belt almost. Seven kilometers to go, and now we have Bahrain victorious towards the front. Bahrain, who, by the way, do not have Colbrelli. They don't have... Oh, there's number 5 out the bout. No, so Jordi Meus has just made it back up. I doubt he'll make it towards the front, towards the end. But Bahrain don't have their star guys. Bahrain, with a real lack of Philip Bauhaus and Sonny Colbrelli. They were both at Catalunya, but Colbrelli had to pull out due to heart problems. They do have Fred Wright, though, the British rider, who was riding well at Paris-Nice. Lotto Soudal now going shoulder to shoulder with Bike Exchange. So Lotto Soudal really just battling it out with these guys. Break in the peloton, split there. Binyam Girmay, I don't think is on this side. We can just see a rider from Intermarché on the wrong side as well. A rider from Team DSM. DSM going for K-Spol today. 6.2 kilometers to go, and the riders make it round this turn now. 6.1k to go. As the peloton just gets sausage a little bit, Lotto Soudal still towards the front controlling things. Dylan Groenewegen comes into frame there. Fred Wright as well. Staniel Aniokowski and Timothy Dupont as well for Bingo just in frame. Pascal Ackermann as well. We see his face for the first time as well on this stage. As we just see, oh, is that Sam Bennett out the back? Sam Bennett out the back, I believe. It's a rider from Bora. I'm not convinced that it's someone else, but I thought that looked like Sam Bennett for Bora Hansgrohe. We'll wait to see what if Pro Cycling Stats confirm anything, but it looked like Sam Bennett, the reigning champion, who is out the back. Well, we've been saying Sam Bennett does not look like himself, and that could confirm things for Bora Hansgrohe. As we just see Lotto Soudal come towards the front, still pushing it on here, working for Arnaud Delis, the Wallonian sprinter. You can see him, just 20 years old at the back of that train. Number 13 off the back, that's Ilio Keiser, the man from Keynes. Also in front of him, number 55, one of the riders from Bahrain victorious. Cofidis as well on the right-hand side of the screen, just trying to push forward. As we see Yuki Harashiro come towards the front here for Japan. He's working for, we believe, Fred Wright of Bahrain. As we get closer and closer to the finish, under 5 kilometers to go. Bingo nestled in here. You can see them in the fluorescent white as we go right past the tram tracks. And this is where the road gets very, very narrow. You have to be in the front third of the peloton if you want to win this stage. You can just see there some of the riders from the Quickstep Alpha Vinyl fighting for position, rustling in the middle of the peloton. Tim Merlier further down on the right-hand side. Alpecin Fenix trying to go long for this one, as it looks like Heinrich Hausler now is pushing things on. The former German, now Australian sprinter for Bahrain. He tested the waters with cyclocross, but now he's working for Fred Wright. Bike Exchange come towards the front. Bike Exchange now take control of affairs as they work for Dylan Groenewegen. Can't quite get a visual of the Dutchman. He's big and bulky. He's a big lump of muscle, is Dylan Groenewegen, as Rui Oliveira tries to find his man, Pascal Ackermann, who won the Cocktail Classic the other day. Zahara Shiro just does one last turn for Fred Wright. And the peloton, wow, it's just thinning out completely right now. 3.8 kilometers to go. As things get hairy, things just like hotting up for the sprinters. Can't quite get a visual on Biniam Girmay, which is a shame there for Intermarché. He might be further down in the field. But Olaf Koy nestled in there. He has Timo Rosa and a lead-out man in front of him. Might be Pascal Eenkorn, but we'll find out later on. Rui Oliveira comes towards the front here with 3.3 kilometers to go, working on behalf of Pascal Ackermann. Lotus Udal running out of lead-out men for their man, Arnaud Delis. They used up an awful lot of riders earlier on, but can they just keep the Wallonian rider out of trouble? He's coming into this as one of the wild cards at just 20 years of age. Dylan Groenewegen now making his way towards the front, the muscular Dutchman. Also Tim Merlier. Well, with Alpecin Fenix, you can never second guess them and what they're going to do. 2.8 kilometers to go. Things are hotting up as it's still Lotus Udal who are pushing on at the front. Behind Lotus Udal, it is a rider from Quickstep Alpha Vinyl trying to follow on. Behind him, Rui Oliveira. You can also see, is that Max Wallerscheid for Cofidis? He's been looking good in recent days as the sprinter from Cofidis and Germany. You can just see Intermarché coming towards the front now. Timo Rosa just rubbing shoulders, trying to get towards Olaf Koy in front of him. Olaf Koy, the young Dutch rider, going to try and get his first sprint victory of the year. Also, is that a rider from Trek Segafredo as well, trying to make it up? Maybe Jasper Stover, but I mean, this selection at the front is getting thinner and thinner. 3 riders from Bingo have made this selection. Just a rider from Groupama just pulls off now. Looking very, very good for Dylan Groenewegen, who is up towards the front, but with 2 kilometers to go, it's just Mesketchen and Groenewegen. This is incredible. It's really been thinned out with 2 kilometers to go. And the lead-up men have to just keep their riders towards the front. They've almost all gone too early. And now we see Alpecin Fenix towards the front. Alpecin Fenix who are working for their man, Tim Merlier. Merlier in fifth wheel right now with Groenewegen and Meskets by his side. Jasper Steve as well towards the front. The rider from Cofidis moving towards the front too. Arnaud Delis just fighting for position. Also, Fred Wright trying to make his way up. Oh, there's a crash. Delis is caught up as Pascal Ackermann comes down. Ackermann is down for UAE. Arnaud Delis caught up there. He has to settle for a minor placing, but that split up this front group as Pascal Ackermann comes down. Also towards the front here. Well, it's really selected this front group. Also Nasser Bouhanni, he's made the selection. Olaf Koy trying to make his way up here. One of the riders from Bengal as well. It's either Dupont or Aniokovsky. Can't quite work out which one that would be. Groenewegen, Bouhanni as... we're losing a sight on Cavendish, but Cavendish seems to be nestled in now, following the wheel of Arnaud Demas. So, Tim Merlier all up here as we're under the Flamme Rouge in the final kilometer of Brugge-De Panne. And this doesn't look good for Pascal Ackermann. Just clipped the wheel and he came down for UAE. But now we're in the final kilometer and this looks to be a fantastic lead out for Mark Cavendish. In the wheel now is Michael Merkel, second wheel. Dylan Groenewegen just following on as Olaf Koy is in the wheel. Right now, can Olaf Koy get the stage win? It looks like Michael Merkel is now given the green light to lead out Mark Cavendish. This is Michael Merkel trying to lead out Cavendish. 2 riders now trying to spoil the party from Bingo. Also Olaf Koy now. Koy launches. Where's Cavendish? Olaf Koy leads this one out. Dylan Groenewegen on the side. Groenewegen towards the center of the screen, but Merlier on the left pushes through. Merlier and Groenewegen. Looks like Merlier's going to get it. Merlier all the way to the end. It's Tim Merlier who takes it, we believe, ahead of well, I think Buani and Groenewegen there. But what a finish. What an absolutely fantastic barnstorming finish for Tim Merlier. After Cavendish once again gets pipped towards the end. I think Cavendish lost the end of his lead-out train there. I couldn't quite get a visual on him in that final 100 meters. But that's the win for Tim Merlier. Merlier gets it. Second place, I believe, for Dylan Groenewegen. But Tim Merlier continues his winning streak. Oh, Groenewegen. Merlier went out to put his arm on Groenewegen. And Groenewegen shook his head. I thought that was something unsportsmanlike, but it wasn't. I think he was unsure. I think they were just passing a comment between them. Buani smiling. He must be happy with where he's finished. But Tim Merlier takes the win. Groenewegen and Buani. That was actually, it's a lot closer than I thought it was. Oh, just on the line there. I believe it's Tim Merlier. Just hairs with ahead of Groenewegen. And Buani for third. Max Walscheid for fourth. Olaf Koy for fifth. But yeah, there we go. Another podium finish at a classic for Arkea Samsic. They are landing these podiums as Nasser Buani had a fantastic finale there. But I believe it's Tim Merlier. Merlier getting the camera time. And we're going to say it's Merlier ahead of Groenewegen. But Groenewegen shook his head. I don't think he was certain that he won that one. But it is between Groenewegen and Step. But great day for Albers and Phoenix, and maybe for Bike Exchange. Nevertheless, I mean, Arkea Samsic, third place. That's fantastic stuff for them. Arkea Samsic, well, battling for World Tour points to make it up to the World Tour next year, but they certainly do deserve it. They've been brilliant so far this year, with a whole new mentality there for the Breton team, as it looks like Merlier. It looks like it's pretty certain that it is Tim Merlier. Groenewegen, though, put in a good fight. But I believe it's Tim Merlier. They look at each other. They're not, neither of them are really sure, but I believe Groenewegen shook his head, so I believe he's not certain that he's won it. I think he's almost conceding it to Tim Merlier. I thought he was shaking his head because he closed the gap or something, but no. Groenewegen sprinted clean. I think everyone really sprinted clean there. Even Buani sprinted pretty clean. Top 10 as well for Arnaud Demar. Top 10, I believe, is that top 10 for someone from Uno X. Tim Merlier, has been given the win. So Tim Merlier wins ahead of Groenewegen and Nasser Buani. That is your top 10. Max Walscheid frustrated. He knew he could have won that one for Cofidis. Cofidis as well, searching out World Tour points. But Tim Merlier, I mean, he's just doing what Tim Merlier does, which is win these sort of small Belgian races left, right, and center. But yeah, there we go. Confirmation on the official photo finish there that it's Tim Merlier ahead of Groenewegen and Nasser Buani in third. So another win for Alpecin Fenix. Alpecin Fenix's first World Tour one-day race win of the year. I mean, last year they were winning classics across the board. Tim Merlier, well, this is his first UCI World Tour one-day race win. And a nice win it will be. So, Tim Merlier ahead of Groenewegen, Nasser Buani, Max Walscheid. And that is your top 4. We await the full top 10 before we cross over to the Catalunya, which I believe is still going on. Reading that Ben O'Connor is on course to win that one. So brilliant stuff from Ben O'Connor. I believe it's actually too late. So Ben O'Connor has taken the win. Fantastic news there for AG2R Citroën. Ben O'Connor takes the win for AG2R Citroën over in Catalonia. Fabulous stuff there. What a win for Ben O'Connor. Who will maybe is he going to go into the race lead? We wait confirmation. Tom Dumoulin did not finish the stage. Neither did Michal Kwiatkowski or Fausto Masnada. But Ben O'Connor getting the race win, proving he's not just a one-tour wonder. And yeah, nothing but love between Groenewegen and Merlier there. Smiles as they shake hands. Tim Merlier now getting interviewed on Sportza, the Flemish broadcaster there. Merlier, this will be in Dutch. I don't even have the audio on, so I won't even try to translate. But yeah, confirmed winner of this race. And I mean, fantastic news over in Catalonia for Ben O'Connor. There's no donations on today, no Ricky. However, I would, if you check out EEF Easy Post's social media pages, you can see that they have been fundraising. Well, Lachlan Morden has been cycling from Munich over to the Ukrainian border to fundraise for the Ukraine humanitarian crisis. So if you have a spare penny, I would appreciate if you head over to that and give it a penny. I mean, I've donated €10 already. It doesn't, I mean, it feels like it does nothing, but I mean, no one deserves to be in that situation. And hopefully Ukraine and Western, I mean, diplomatic powers can get involved to defuse this crisis as soon as possible. Nevertheless, we await top 10. They're being a little bit slow with releasing top 10 today, but heading over to Catalonia, it is a stage win for Ben O'Connor, who gets that one ahead of, I mean, we also await top 10 there. But yeah. Second place goes to João Almeida, I believe, over in Catalonia. I don't have any visuals of Catalonia right now, so I'm just working off of what I'm seeing on Twitter. And yeah, the Australian with a pretty big stage win for him. After winning a stage win at the Giro, the Tour as well, he has to be Ange Desert's leader later this year. I mean, they have Paris-Peintre, they have maybe Bob Jungels if he's back up to full form to go for in the GC, but Ben O'Connor has to be their man for Australia. So what else do you have to look forward to this week? Well, on Friday we have the E3 Harelbeke, now known as the E3 Saxo Bank Classic. Not quite as great of a name, but yep, that race will be live on Friday. We also have on Sunday Gent-Wevelgem over in Belgium as well. So we're sticking with Belgium as a theme for the next couple of days until pretty much the Ronde van Vlaanderen up next weekend. So, stream, I'm not convinced we're going to get a top 10 anytime soon from Belgium. So, thank you very much everybody for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel and the main channel. And we will see you around.